Inheritance in PHP, almost as shocking as object-oriented programming in PHP. Who would have thought that PHP supported object-oriented principles like inheritance? Cue message boards showing people hating on PHP still. If you're not familiar with inheritance in programming, it's again just mimicking real-world concepts, primarily ancestral inheritance. You inherited traits or characteristics from your parents from their parents, and so on. You and I share the same traits as all human beings, so our parent class can be, for example, human. In that human class, we could list methods like walking and speaking. Even though we speak different languages, the mechanism is the same. We share the capability to speak and use the same organs to accomplish the task. In object-oriented programming, you can also inherit properties and methods from other classes. The class that inherits is called the child class, and it inherits from the parent class. Child classes are also called subclasses, and parent classes are called superclasses. We're going to be modifying our German Shepherd class. We're going to move quite a few properties outside of the German Shepherd class and move it into a more generic dog class. We can even modify the car class, even though it's an abstract enough concept, to inherit from a more generic vehicle class. I was initially going to create a monstrosity of a video, just have everything related to class inheritance in this one video. But I think for the sake of people just starting out, it's better if we split this up into a few different videos. So maybe at least 2, at most like 3 to 4 videos. I'll see as I'm moving along how it feels. Right now, in order to start, we're going to have to grab our German Shepherd class, since that's the class that we're going to be modifying. I'm going to go ahead and copy it over into the new file, and we can start modifying from this point on. What we're going to want to do is we're going to want to create a dog class that the German Shepherd class can inherit from, because every German Shepherd is a dog, and dogs have different breeds. So there's poodles, there's German Shepherds, there's huskies, there's all kinds of different dogs. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a new class called dog. So I could be wrong, but from what I understand, every single dog definitely has a heart and a tail of a certain size. So we can definitely move our constants into the dog class. Then we can look at our eye color, date of birth. Now, does every dog have eyes, and do those eyes have color? Yes. How about date of birth? Yep. How about do dogs shed? So we can ask that question for any dog. So all of these 3 properties can go all the way up here. And as a matter of fact, every dog will belong to a kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species, subspecies, and even a breed. So we can copy all of that and actually paste it up here. Last but not least is the fur color property. Every single dog has fur, so we can move fur color into the dog class. As you can see, our German Shepherd class is starting to look pretty empty right now. Now, in the 51st tutorial, we talked about visibility, and we mentioned the private and public methods, as well as the protected methods, but we didn't really talk about it. So German Shepherd, if it inherits from our dog class, and each one of these properties are private, it will not have access to any of these properties, and we want the German Shepherd to have access to it, because a German Shepherd does have eye color, date of birth. We can ask the question, does it shed? And it'll belong to all these scientific classifications, as well as have a specific fur color. So what we're going to want to do is actually change every single one of these from private to protected. So now, once the German Shepherd class inherits from the dog class, it's going to be able to inherit all of these properties. Now, how does the German Shepherd class inherit? We use the extends keyword, and it's going to extend another class, and it's going to extend the dog class. So pretty simple. You can only extend one class. You can only inherit from one additional class. This class can also inherit from another class. So for example, let's say we want to inherit from a mammal class. We could say extends mammal, and then the mammal can inherit from an animal class, which we are going to do, just not in this tutorial. I want to kind of keep it simple in this tutorial so as not to overwhelm you. We're going to keep our constructor right here. Now we have access to everything, and we can go down and we can test it out to see if it works so far. So what we'll do is we're going to go ahead and create our German Shepherd dog. And we'll say new German Shepherd. And the first thing is eye color, so we'll set it to, let's set it to green. Some weird date of birth, October 10th, 2015. This is open up, that's why I don't have enough real estate on the screen. And then fur color, we'll say brown. Okay, so now that that's instantiated, we can say gsdog, and we can, for example, get eye color, and then since that's returning a string, we can echo out that eye color. And we'll specify eye color dot, put a colon, and then I'm also going to start off putting break tags right away because I know we're going to be doing some other examples. Let's go to the browser. We'll hit refresh. And there it is, eye color green. Now let's walk back through this and see if this makes any sense. So we have our get eye color method and it's returning this eye color. Well, if we look at our German Shepherd class, we don't have the property eye color anymore anyway. We also passed the eye color argument to our constructor, and it set the eye color argument to this eye color property. Now, where is it? Well, once you see that the properties don't exist inside the child class, then you have to start working your way up. So you start going into the dog class and you start seeing, hey, there it is. It's the eye color. I inherited that property, so now that means I can just access it, which means I can access it from the methods inside here, such as get eye color. Now we're not just going to move all the properties into the parent class. Since the properties are already up there, it makes sense that the methods related to those properties are also going to be up there. So for example, we can get the eye color from any dog. It doesn't matter what it is. So we can move the get eye color, the set eye color, date of birth, does shed. I mean, pretty much every single one of these up there. So I'll grab all of them, and what I'll do is I will paste them right there. Our German Shepherd class now has a few different methods, such as walk, bark, and sleep, as well as get scientific classification. Now, get scientific classification returns all of these properties right here, and to be honest, because they're all listed up there, we can go ahead and grab this scientific classification, because every single dog will have a scientific classification, and actually paste the scientific classification method as well. Since not every dog is a German Shepherd, what we're going to do is we're going to eliminate this breed right here, and then we're going to instantiate it inside of our child class. Now, you may be tempted to change all these public methods into protected methods, but what's going to happen with that is your class will have access, your child class will have access to them, but once you instantiate it, you will not be able to call them inside here. For example, get eye color. So if I modify, for example, this one to protected, and then go to the browser and hit refresh, we get something like this. Uncaught error, call to protect the method, dog get eye color from blah, blah, blah. So as you can see, we're gonna have to leave these as public as long as you want them accessible once the object is instantiated, which makes sense. So you can just kind of think about it like the way I visualize it is inheritance, even though it doesn't really do it, just copies over this whole code and pastes it inside here. Once it's inside here, you're still within that protected method. So now, if you're trying to access it, it can't access it because remember the visibility, it acts like a private method or property and not like a public property. It's not visible outside of the scope of the class itself. So once we instantiate it, we need to keep those things public. So let's go ahead and save this. Go back to the browser, hit refresh, and there it is. We're back to eye color green. There are also a few other methods that I was looking at. So every single dog can walk, every single dog can bark, and every single dog can sleep. So we can take all of these and put it inside of our dog class. So let's go ahead and paste those up there. And again, we're going to keep them public. And what we'll do is we'll say echo, let's say just gs dog bark, and then I'll put a little break tag. So now the bark method again does not exist inside our German Shepherd class, but it does exist in our dog class. So it's going to call the bark method inside of our dog class because German Shepherd inherits from it. So if we go over here, hit refresh, it says I'm barking. Now the interesting part is you can actually override a few of these methods. So even though there's a default thing for the bark method, we can override it in our German Shepherd class. So we'll say public function, and you have to name it exactly the same thing. And then what we can say is loud barking, for example. And now if we go back and hit refresh, There it is, loud barking. Why? Well, just remember, when we call the method, in this case we're calling German Shepherd dog bark, it goes into our German Shepherd class and it starts looking for the bark method. If it finds it, great, it's going to do something with it. If it doesn't find it, it's going to go up a level in inheritance, it's going to go into the dog class, and it's going to start looking for it up here. Since it exists down there, it's usable. I'm going to leave the car class as an example for you guys to do, and we'll go over it in the next tutorial. But pretty much what you're going to want to do is you're want to grab the car class that we did and try to abstract it enough, try to move as many things as you think you need to move into the vehicle class. The car class is going to be inheriting from a vehicle class, and a vehicle can technically be considered anything, right? Like a bicycle or a truck or whatever. Think about which one of these properties and methods you can move into the vehicle class, and we'll go over it next time.